to the On the Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Why we do this on a Friday night? Because Friday night is horror night. This is filmmaker and director of the latest creature feature to hit the market, hit the water. I will go in, hit the water. We'll
Yeah,
go with that one.
yeah.
Into the deep. This is Mr. Christian Sesma. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Not too bad. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on.
Oh, good. I know it's late over there. Sorry.
No, it's not too bad. It's only 10 o'clock. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's horror hour.
yeah. You guys are about to go, hit the pub.
No, it's only pre-drinks for now. Pub doesn't come till 1.
Right.
Although I will say that poster is badass. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
I always do the new I have my tradition is in my office. I kind of do a whatever the next release is. I kind of start doing do the poster stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like Lights Out's the next one. So whenever the next movie comes out, it'll replace that and kind of get all shuffled around. I'm sorry. Lights Out was one before. Into the Deep was the latest, and so I kind of always rotate.
Little shout out to Lights Out with my boy Frank Grillo in there.
Yeah,
I love Frank Grillo.
he's a badass.
He's a beast. I reached out to you on this one after I seen Into the Deep. Well, actually, just before I seen Into the Deep, just before I started watching, I sent the message.
Yeah.
And obviously, with it being a shark movie and it being me and the show, it was always just going to happen that I was going to watch it.
Nice. Yeah, it was going to come across your desk either way.
At some stage. Now, I did see it on Instagram. I think a little while ago, just before Christmas. I think Scout Heather Compton had shared out something about it, and I was like, "Nice, new shark movie."
She's great, man.
You can't go wrong with that. And I mean, like, she has quite a big name in horror, like quite a big name in acting anyway. But in terms of horror, like in some of the stuff she's done, she's got quite a big name.
Yeah, real scream queen. You know, I mean, when we when we were starting to cast this, obviously, like Richard was the first person to come on, and that's what kind of kicked in the financing for us because, they're like, "Can you get Richard Dreyfuss back for a shark movie?" I went, "Well, I can try," and so it was a combination of things. And so, when I hit up Richard and hit up his wife, who we were all, like I said, we're all good friends, and I was like, "Look, there's a shark movie. Here's my pitch on it. I'm trying to make it like." Like an act. I'm coming from action movies, so it's like I try to approach it just like a thriller, like an action thriller. You know what I mean? Like the sharks aren't the villains per se. You know what I mean? It's like we want to have some cool shark stuff, but it's really the villains are John Cena's character who plays Jordan, like modern day pirates and these guys, and that's really the real danger. Because Richard has a really strong stance on sharks and shark conservation and all this stuff after Jaws. They really regretted doing that movie. It was really crazy.
Oh yeah, I had read some stuff about it, and I know for a long time he didn't do another sort of sea creature movie up until I think it was Piranha.
Yeah, and he hated that. So,
well, I mean, like, I get why he hated that and thing, but like that one was not as serious as the way Jaws was. It was a bit of fun, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like I remember going to see that in the cinema, and he's obviously the opening scene in it, and I was like, "What the fuck is Richard Dreyfuss doing here?"
Yeah, he really didn't want to do another one of these, And so when I kind of gave him my pitch, I was like, "Look, man, I'm not trying to do a cheesy thing. I'm not trying to do tongue in cheek. I'm just trying to do just a regular movie, just a regular movie, like a regular thriller,
What I did like there, you did say that like he's obviously a big shark conservationist and stuff now, and that's what his character does in this film.
Yeah.
Obviously, now I'm not going to go into spoilers because it's only a newer release. I don't want to give too much away, but the fact that you got Richard Dreyfuss back for a shark movie, everyone's going to watch it somewhere along the way.
Well, it's funny because now it's been 2 weeks now since this come out, so it's been, for me and the writer and things like that. It's interesting the way this has been, like it's come out because it's been like a double-edged sword getting Richard on this. So for me, I was like, it's great, it's getting Richard back to the shark genre, but it's been a really crazy journey with the reviews and this, that, and the other. Because I'm like, for me, I just wanted to do a straightforward action thriller. And man, if we haven't gotten panned by like, man, it's not. I could give you. I would if I had $5 for every time a reviewer was like, but this isn't Jaws. And I was like, well, fuck, man, what is Jaws? Like,
I
nobody
mean,
was trying to do Jaws. Which
like,
was funny. I'm like, it's nothing like Jaws. Nobody's trying to do Jaws. The only difference is there's a shark and Richard Dreyfuss, but it's been. I could give you 10. I could send you 10 reviews of people who are like, yeah, it's all right, but it's not Jaws. And I was
but
like, what?
it's 50 years nearly since Jaws came out. It's
And
50
that's
years this year, and
yeah, 50
not
years.
one,
Yeah.
not one, 50 years. It's not 50 years today, is it?
No, no, not today. 50 years. I mean,
Oh
50
yeah,
years.
50 years this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And there's not one shark movie that's even gotten close to it. And that's no offense to you,
No,
but
no,
this
no. And
was,
it's like, and you shouldn't even try.
yeah,
You shouldn't even try. And like for me, I didn't even think of that.
yeah.
I said the only real kind of Easter egg that I did personally as just a subtle thing is that Jaws 2 does, or Jaws 3 does, whatever. I added a small, subtle sound effect to the sharks to make them scarier. So there's a guttural, like it's almost a guttural growl to the sharks in there when you hear it. And
So
people
I,
notice it.
I thought it was actually coming from the person that's being attacked. I was like, okay, so they're screaming and it's just underwater.
They are screaming for sure. They are like, you hear like screaming, whatever. But there is, I watched a lot of shark stuff, right? A lot of shark footage, a lot of shark research, this, that, and the other before we did this. And there is a weird guttural, like there's a weird thing that they do. It's not a growl, obviously, because there's no vocal cords, but there's a air influx thing that like rumbles. So I added this like little low end rumble to these things. It's pretty
Right.
interesting.
And like I will say that the movie starts out kind of so innocently. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, because obviously there's two people swimming. I'm not giving too much away.
No, yeah. I mean, it's in
I,
the trailer.
I actually didn't see a trailer for it.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, that stuff's
I
in the trailer. I mean, pretty much a lot of the stuff, and now like there's been a lot of clips online, this, that, and the other, like Saban and Wellgo, the distributors have, and Signature for you, over there in the UK. Signature put it out in Europe. Yeah, there's a lot of clips out.
well, I did know. Funny enough, I didn't see anything before other than Scout putting up the
Oh wow,
picture, and then I was flicking through Facebook, Facebook like shorts, and a clip of it came on last night, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it was actually the opening scene.
yeah.
But like obviously you have the two people, you have the father and the daughter swimming,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Is he gonna be a dick? Is he gonna be a dick and kill the both of them?"
No, no,
Uh,
just one.
I actually, because you don't see it too much in horror films when kids get killed.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, is he gonna go all out in it early and just fuck people up?
yeah. No, that would be cool, but no, that's So because I did this, the next I'm doing another creature feature in Bulgaria this year,
I mean,
and well, and see that one I'm going all in. You know what I'm saying?
I'm already in.
Like that one I'm like, okay, we're going this because like I said, this one was for me. And when I read the script, it wasn't like so full disclosure, like Aliens is my all-time favorite movie, right? So Aliens, James Cameron Aliens, right?
Bold call.
Oh, that's my number one. Always has been since I was a kid. I've seen that movie, and I'm a giant Star Wars fan and shit like that. But I've seen that movie more. Like I love that movie because it's action, it's horror, it's sci-fi. It's like it checks all the boxes for me, right? Suspense, it checks it all. So when I was doing this one, I'm like, well, it's not. It's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that. So I just wanted to do like a straightforward shark movie. So and again, back to the reviews, it's like we're getting hated on because we're not Jaws, and we're getting hated on because it's not Sharknado, which is hilarious. We're like somewhere in the middle here, and it's interesting that in this genre, that's not where you want to be. You want to either be all in this way or all in that
Yeah,
way, right? So,
it's either really shit and it's gonna make money that
yes,
way,
Yes.
Or if you try and go really good with it, you're going to be compared to Jaws and lose.
That's what happened.
And I don't care what shark film comes out in my lifetime or your lifetime. I don't think anything is going
It
to get
can't.
close to it.
No, and it's funny because it's not like Jaws had great. The shark looks like shit too, but it's the movie is great. The characters are great. The suspense is great. The
It,
payoff is great. You know, it's all leading to that. I mean, they were notorious for having
it,
Bruce for Bruce being bad. You know,
it, it,
but
it,
the
it
movie
also
is
has
different.
it also has the greatest monologue in film history.
Quint, yeah,
Yeah,
of
it was
course,
so good. Like I've seen it.
yeah,
I've seen that movie that many times. It was funny because I was actually watching. Do you know the USS Indianapolis movie with Nicolas
yeah,
Cage?
yeah, same, yeah,
I was watching that one day, right? And my missus came in and she's like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Oh, I'm watching the USS Indianapolis." And she's like, "What's that?" And I was like,
oh, yeah,
it's my moment."
right, yeah, exactly.
And
That's the best.
I literally quoted the whole piece, and
Yeah,
she was like,
and that monologue, John Milius, man.
and she was like, "What is that speech?" And I was like, "That's from Jaws." And she's like, "Did
And
you just?"
you know that's John Milius wrote that for Spielberg, right?
Nope.
John Milius, that's John Milius's monologue that he wrote for Spielberg. So, you know, John Milius is the director and writer of Red Dawn, Conan, freaking I mean, John
All,
Milius is
all them early '80s classics.
yeah. So I guess the story is that Spielberg needed some blah 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 for the character for Quint, and Milius wrote a monologue for him just for that scene.
I was down when I said it, and it just rolled off. I was like, "This is the moment.
Yeah,
This is the
John,
payout."
John Milius, man,
And
go
she was like, "Is that a true story?" And I was like, "Yeah,
super true,
yeah."
super
But
true.
uh,
Apocalypse Now. I mean, God, Milius is.
genius.
I love. I'm a giant John Milius fan. Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, man.
The difference though, obviously, when you're making a shark movie, as we said, it's either going to be compared to Jaws, trying to be good, or it's in the Sharknado kind of
Right,
level.
and so Into the Deep is in the middle there somewhere, right? Because it's just like an indie thriller. So it's interesting how it's been for me as a filmmaker been taken. So this is the most polarizing movie I ever done. I'm like,
Nice.
this is fucking crazy, but for me it's fun because it's like you learn as an artist, you go this and like it's for me as a filmmaker, you take lessons to the next one, right? So it's like I'm taking the lessons that I learned on In the Deep of being the middle ground guy of just making a movie, where the next one is like I'm not going middle ground, we're going fucking gory, you
Balls
know.
to the wall.
We're ripping limbs. That's all I know, you know. We're going practical limbs on these ones all day. So
Like in terms of obviously being it's not a shark movie, but it is a shark movie. I
right,
I found this quite like a mixture of obviously Captain Phillips with the modern day pirates
that
and
was my pitch to Dreyfus.
and Into the Blue with Paul Walker and Jessica
Yeah,
Alba.
exactly.
Obviously the underwater salvagers and stuff.
That's
Um,
exactly those. That was it. That was the exact pitch. No joke. I mean, when I was like Captain Phillips from Sharks was my pitch to Dreyfus. I go, it's you're getting boarded by modern day pirates, but then you have this kind of fun scuba expedition with people with young hot people.
that works too. That's always a bonus.
Yeah, it was just like that. So interesting. And then what people don't realize is that again, we shot 100%. Well, we shot 90% in Thailand and 10% in Southern California for Dreyfus's part. Right, Dreyfus was in by the beach in La Jolla over here in California. But the Thailand. So again, as a filmmaker, nobody knows of the audience why things happen the way they happen, and so and these indie movies for me, I was like, man, look, if I can eat 80, if I can have 85% of these sharks VFX looking good, I'm happy, right? And it was. I think 85% of them are pretty fucking good. Then you have 15% that I was just not happy with because it's just you don't have all the money. I mean, like I've seen the Meg and some of those are shit.
No, the Meg
So
is grade A shite, and Meg
right,
2
but
was even worse.
Right, right. And so people don't like. I know, like some of the people were like, "Oh, like the blood in the water." I go, "I'll tell you why. We were supposed to have practical blood in the water, but where we shot was a preserve, so you couldn't put anything in the water." And I was just like, "Guys, how am I going to do a shark movie and put no real blood in the water?" And
Yeah.
so like we can't do that. It's a protected ecosystem. You're going to ruin the friggin' wildlife and all this other shit. And I was like, "Fuck." So there's people. Those are things that people don't realize that as filmmakers, we're getting hit up with like different obstacles, and you're trying to make it work. I'm like, well, shit. Okay,
All the red tape has to come from somewhere.
all the way, yeah. And I'm like, man. So I mean, yeah, we were. I was like, I was planning to go gallons and gallons of blood in the water and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, you couldn't do that. At the end, the boat was supposed to sink. So the boat was supposed to get shot up, and again, we couldn't use real blanks. We had, I mean, all these things that I was used to from doing movies like Lights Out, right, where I'm blowing shit up and I'm running through tons of blanks and squibs and real explosions and this, that, and the other. You know, we shot on these boats in Thailand out in the water in this bay, and they're like, well, I hate to break it to you, but this is a national preserve or what, it's protected ecosystem. So no smoke, no squibs, no this. And I'm like, guys, I'm shooting an action thriller here, you know? So it was one of those things where you roll with the punches, you know?
What? Why do you hate me?
Yeah, man. I was like, well, we're gonna have to make this work somehow.
I mean, like with all those red tapes, it doesn't look overly too bad. Like I
Yeah,
was quite
no,
impressed. Like,
like I said, most of it I'm okay with, for sure.
yeah, like I've definitely seen worse. Do you know what I mean?
Oh
In
yeah, me
terms
too.
of death scenes and like CGI bits, I've definitely seen worse.
Yeah, yeah,
And I've definitely seen worse shark movies that try to be good shark movies.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah.
I watched Great White with Alicia Silverstone.
Right.
That was fucking atrocious.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, like I'm nearly sure there's a part in that movie where you see the shark swimming along, and I'm pretty sure I've seen that exact scene in a documentary.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right. Like they used to use the B-roll.
yeah. Like it was one of the worst shark movies I've ever seen, and I've seen all the Sharknadoes.
Right,
I'd watch them quicker than I'd watch Great White again.
right.
Oh, it was atrocious. Now I did watch one last year called No Way Up.
Oh yeah, that's pretty
That
good.
was I really enjoyed that one. Must
Yeah,
say. Now,
yeah.
as I said, I'm a big shark fan. Obviously, nothing goes near Jaws. I'm a huge Deep Blue Sea fan.
Really
Love
good.
Deep Blue Sea. To me, that's the second best shark film ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people will be like Jaws too. No, nothing holds to Deep Blue Sea one.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Um, but this is I'd have your one right in the upper echelons of a high end shark movie.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And that's not me just blowing smoke. Like people that watch the show will know I'm extremely blunt in terms of if I don't like something, I'll tell you outright.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd have it up there as one of the better. Obviously, it's not a shark film per se. It's a film
Yeah.
that has a shark in it.
That's man. You're everything you're saying was exactly my pitch on this movie. You know, which was interesting because I was like, well, it's a shark movie, but it's really a thriller with sharks. And they're like, okay. And so for me, I was trying to go that way again, coming from the movies I usually do, which is like Lights Out and Section 8, and these are kind of straightforward actioners. I'm like, great, it'll be like an action thriller, and just will have an element of sharks there. And for the most part, you know, they're the central bit here. And then, of course, you know, having Dreyfus, it became a whole different thing too. But that was always the pit. That was always the direction. So, interestingly enough, for me as a filmmaker, you learn like, all right, cool. Fucking around these new genres that is new to me. It's like a new sandbox. So it was like, great. I'm like, I can, you know, like you're stretching out you know, your coloring pad here. Like, what new things you're gonna mess with, you know? And so, the things I learned on this are definitely taken into this next movie for sure. And I'm excited for this next creature feature for sure because it'll be a true creature feature.
We'll talk off screen because I don't want you to get in trouble
No, no,
for
no, no. I won't say it, but it'll be
throwing
fun.
too much out. Um, I will say, as I mentioned earlier as well, obviously with Dreyfus, you have then Scout Taylor Compton, who was a scream queen in her own right. Um,
Which when you know the casting came up, I was like, she'd be fantastic because I mean, she did all the scuba stuff. I mean, there was a lot of physical things that she had to do, right? Like she really was great. I mean, she jumped in the cages, she did the scuba training, she was getting banged around. I mean, she was really, really I needed like a really tough actress to pull this off. I thought she did fantastic. And I love her chemistry with John Cena's character, the pirate, they're just playing off each other, having a good time. It was great.
Yeah, I actually thought so. Now, I've seen her in a few things, and she looks like she gets banged up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I know, I think I read somewhere that she'd broken bones doing the Texas Chainsaw game. So
Wow.
that just tells you how committed she is to
Right.
everything.
No, right. Yeah, she's great. She was a treat to work with. She was great. And then her husband, her new husband, is in the movie too. So that's a little Easter egg too. He was one of the pirates. So he
Oh
was,
yeah, I did see she got married somewhere along the way.
yeah, Vader. That's the guy who played. He's in the Vader suit and the Obi-Wan in shows and stuff.
Oh, nice. I don't
Yeah,
watch the episode.
yeah, he's a big stunt performer.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Um, but like obviously they're two big names in terms of. I know it's not technically fully horror movie, but with horror elements. But they're two huge names to have, and obviously that helped the promotional side for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but how have you found the movie to be received so far? I know we kind of touched on it earlier. It's in between
Super
Jaws and
mixed,
Star.
more mixed than I ever was expecting. More mixed than I was expecting.
So were you expecting good, or were you
I was
expecting?
expecting like I thought this was a good thriller. You know what I mean?
I
So
would
for me,
agree.
like, this is a good thriller, and I still think it's good. I'm still really proud of it. It was a blast to make. It was really fun working in the new sandbox with the sharks and the shark genre. But it's been mixed because, and I know why. The reason why is what you said. It's like it's not Jaws and it's not Sharknado, and so people are like, "What the fuck is it?" Like I can't. I don't know. I don't know how to process this. Right? It's not shitty, but it's not good enough to be Jaws. So where is it? So it's been a big mix. So it's been interesting. It's been interesting to get a lot of the takes, and I think some people really get it. And they're like, "This is really cool. It's fun. It's a bit of an elevated shark movie because it's more of a thriller." But then other people fucking hate it because it's like you got Dreyfus and it's not Jaws. But it's been funny, man.
Right. But see, I find like I don't know what it's like. Obviously, being as I'm not a director, I'm not a
Yeah.
filmmaker anyway. But like I do tend to go on to the likes of Rotten Tomatoes and just have a read of some of the reviews, right?
Oh man, this one's bad.
Some of the I didn't read any of the ones on this. I did
Woo.
I
Critics were
I
like most critics were like banging it, which is like interesting because when we had our premiere of this, I always have a premiere close to my hometown here, right? So this is like I always say, having a premiere in Hollywood is different because it's actors and other managers and very Hollywood types. When I
yeah
have a premiere here in my hometown here in Southern California, it's just regular folks, right? It's just regular people that just got regular jobs and just have, you had 200 regular folks, not part of the Hollywood industry, watch it. And I always feel like that's your real audience, right? It's just people like that just are just watching it. And so I felt that their reactions were overall really good. They were like, "This is a good movie. I was really suspense, blah blah blah, this that and the other." But it was interesting on the Rotten Tomato side. This that like the true critics.
well I'm just having a look here at some of them.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Check out those and it's also like it's almost like clickbait taglines.
yeah, overall a solid thriller with good action scenes and just enough shark actions to call it a shark film. It's not a shark film, no. It's a pirate tense thriller with a shark or two
Yeah,
or three.
right. Yeah.
Into the deep lacks depth with so many inconsistencies and wasted potential. Not really. I didn't find any
I look. I agree. I mean, there was one I was like, I don't think they watched this. Like honestly,
no.
there's some I'm like, I don't think you guys watched some of this. Like,
I'll go one more. Scout Taylor Compton is too good for Into the Deep. Despite her skilled performance, the movie rapidly sinks. Not really at all. Like it builds the whole way through. It looks like it's going to be a full shark movie, and then it turns into something else. What more do you want? Do you know what I mean?
You got me, man. I'm like,
And like,
for me, I'm coming at it from like a movie fan, right? So I'm always trying to, like, I'm a gigantic movie fan, movie nerd. My movie database is big, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm always coming at it and making movies. I'm directing always from like a fan's perspective because I want to see what I want to see, you know? Like I'm doing this. And so like the ending of the movie was shifted because I was like, what if she has this her like cathartic moment? It's this blah blah blah, and she comes face to face. And I've seen so many shark documentaries where you got to face the sharks and you got to push them away from the nose and all this stuff. Like they won't attack you if you do certain things. And so Richard Dreyfuss is teaching her along the way, and she has this moment like, okay, I got it in this moment of danger, I'm able to defend myself and have this cathartic moment. I'm in harmony. It's not going to harm me. And then you really go to the fucking danger, which is John Cena's character.
I did know. I've obviously seen quite a lot. I'm a huge shark fan, so I love Shark Week and stuff.
Me
And my
too.
and my young fella loves nature documentaries, so
Yeah.
we watch them like to beat the band. And I've seen that quite a few times. Of the you slow everything down and then just gently push them away.
Right.
But if a great white shark is powering at you now, that's the last thing you're going to be thinking of.
Well, is it though? For me, I'm like, if Dreyfus has been hammering at that her whole life, after that, is she gonna have her fucking, use the force Luke moment,
No, it's not use the force; it's use the forks. The forks. If you're going to quote it right.
Use the Schwartz.
Remember that in The Simpsons? Use the
Yeah,
forks.
use the force.
um, but no,
Yeah.
I thought it was a really well shot moment. I think the only issue I had with it was that she didn't have her mask on,
Right.
like her breathing thing. Um, like I think for me that's the only thing. It's obviously so you can see her facial expressions, which is fine. I get that, but she's what 25 feet underwater for about 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes of movie time, maybe.
Yeah.
For me, it was always like you got it. The shark has to see your eyes. You have to eye. You have to eye to eye,
I'm
and
not,
that's
I'm
what
not, I'm not, I'm not one for the sea, but I ain't opening my eyes underwater either. Fuck that.
you're.
No, no, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, in terms of the movie itself, though, some really fun kills, some really gnarly and nasty ones. Um, some good action, good suspense, good script, well shot, good movie.
Thanks, man.
What more do you want? Do you know what I mean? Like, I do think people will always criticize shark movies more than
Yes,
anything.
that I have found more. That one I found. That's the part that I wasn't. I won't say ready for. I mean, I'm always like I have thick skin as a filmmaker. And if you're making movies that the public is going to see, you're going to have to be ready for it all, right? And usually it's always like this. You're going to have some people hate it, some people love it, blah, blah, blah. That comes with it. But I didn't know the subculture of shark fandom.
It's a touchy subject, isn't it?
You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. Look, but it's awesome though, because I'm like, I'm a fucking nerd for my own thing. You know what I mean? So that's cool. So I'm like, I'm cool with it.
But
I just, but like I said, it was too middle of the road. Too middle of the road.
I mean, I've been more leaning on to the good side than
Oh, I think so too. I think so too. I just know that,
you wouldn't be biased
hindsight's
though, would you?
2020. What's that?
You wouldn't be biased though, would you?
Of course you always are. But you know what I mean? But I do think it's a good movie overall. Like, believe me, I've made movies. I'm like, man, I try not to even think of the movies I made. You know what I mean? Like, there's a few that I'm like, let's not talk about this.
Yeah. Well, like,
And a lot of times it's not technically. A lot of times there's so many other things that people don't know that have nothing to do with the director. It's more, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that play into that you just can't help, and it really affects it.
So I've had a conversation with a few directors about movies they've made where they're not happy with it because things were taken out of their control by other people
Yeah,
making decisions. So like I think obviously if you're getting studio funded or whatever and they're giving you the money to do it, you've obviously they're gonna have some say in it. But if you've hired a director to do the film,
they're gonna have a lot of say, believe it or not. So
no, but you know what I mean? Like if you've hired somebody, say yourself, to
yeah,
film a remake of Jaws, scene for scene, but someone's still going to come in and have words. Oh, we need to change this. Why?
oh yeah,
You wanted a scene for scene remake. Let me make
yeah,
the scene for scene remake.
yep.
Do you know what I mean? And like in terms of indie films, I think that's where Damien Leone and Terrifier has done so well that they've stayed
Oh
away
yeah,
from the big film companies.
yeah.
And I know
Like
a lot of
he's doing his own thing. I mean,
yeah,
that's just horror porn. You know what I mean? Like he has that. He knows exactly who he's doing it for, how he's doing it. He's just
he's
he's
got a
also a
li-
talented filmmaker overall, but it's really like he just found the niche, and that's his thing.
he's got a license to print money at the minute with that character.
Yeah, I mean that was a biggie.
I'm actually going to meet them now in November. They're doing a con in Ireland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the first ever big. I think it's the first ever big horror con in Ireland this year, and
Oh,
they were
that's
the first
great.
two guests announced.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I met Lauren Levera then last year or 2 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, we traveled to Manchester for the con over there.
Ah,
Yeah. Did this film now when you released it go into festivals?
no, no.
No,
These just get yeah. For the most part, like gosh, it's been a decade since anything in IPAC ever gone to festivals. It's just more it goes directly out.
nice, nice. And I think obviously the festivals is such an important part of indie filmmaking. But when you get to run them out in terms of them going straight out, because obviously if it goes into a festival, it could be 2 years before you see it on there.
Yeah, and then a lot of times festival they're trying to look for distribution, this, that, and the other for the most part, or unless you're already a studio film and they're using the festivals as like a PR
Yeah,
tool.
nice. No, I just wanted to see like how if it went in, how it was received there, because obviously they're proper fans that are
Yeah, they're real fans.
yeah,
Yeah,
not the keyboard warriors.
no,
Now, bear in mind
there's a
these
lot.
these keyboard warriors. If you go on to the Jaws Rotten Tomatoes, there's one guy who's given it 1 star because there's not enough shark in the movie.
Right,
And I'm
right.
like, this is the greatest creature feature ever made.
Yep.
And yeah, I was just like, you're an idiot.
You're gonna have that. It's just and you're gonna have it, and there's gonna be. It's just the way it goes, man. Like I said, there's been some like you said, you went on the Rotten Tomatoes, and some of the taglines are so like, what did you watch this, or they just want the clickbaity thing,
Yeah, that's exactly
There's
what that
some that are
is.
really honest and right on the point where I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay, I get, like, I could see that. There's definitely, I definitely can be objective enough to go, I see that part. I understand what you're saying. I get it. I get it.
You haven't seen my one yet. No, what I find as well about it, a lot of the critics that are on the likes of Rotten Tomatoes, there's not a whole lot of reasoning to some of them. It's crap. It's not Jaws. It's just
I mean,
there.
there's a lot that just said it's not Jaws, and I was like,
I didn't
that's
try and
the
make
fucking
Jaws.
one. It's like,
Do you know what
what? Who's trying to be Jaws? I'm like,
I mean?
I wasn't trying to be Jaws ever.
Yeah.
It's
No,
nothing
no,
like Jaws.
it's not. It's not where Jaws is intently the protagonist.
It's nothing like Jaws.
This is just an unfortunate event.
Yeah, so weird.
Um, but as I said, I really enjoyed it. I definitely go back and watch it again.
Nice.
Now it won't be till next year because I have a thing where I won't watch a film twice in a year.
It'll be interesting your take then a year later. You know what I mean? So like, I always like revisiting movies after some time, and it's like I'd like to see what I didn't catch, what if it feels different, this, that, and the other. It's cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know when I watch it next year.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
Um,
cool.
just a quick one though. As I said, you see the posters behind you.
Yeah.
Lights Out. What was it like working with the man himself?
Intense, man. Like Grillo is exactly how he is in his Instagram and whatever. I mean, he's and you know he also has the goods. The guy can really scrap. You know what I mean? So he is an actual tough guy for in real life. He's not just like a Hollywood actor that's trying to be a wannabe tough guy. Grillo's a real deal. You know, he really brought so much to that character and so much to that movie. You know, he's a true professional.
I need to get that man on this show.
Yeah, yeah. He's hard to pin down now. Now he's getting really busy.
Yeah, well, that he made it into Marvel and everything. Now
Yeah, Superman.
he he's in Superman, is he? Well, I'm not too pushed on Superman.
Me neither.
He's like the worst superhero ever. Um, but like obviously you said you have a new creature feature that you're filming in Bulgaria.
Yeah,
Are you writing it and directing it yourself?
directing. Yes, I didn't write it. Same writer as Into the Deep, though.
Nice,
So
nice. So
same dude. I would say similar kind of movie, but there's some similarities with regards to some stuff. You know,
is it gonna be a horror this time, or is it gonna be another thriller? Or
it's a thriller, but definitely a gorier, a much bloodier, gorier thriller.
interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully this year, next year,
Uh, the next year about this time probably be released.
and then we'll have you back on, and I can tell you how I thought about Into the Deep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, has the casting or anything been done for it? Obviously, you don't have to tell us.
We're casting now. We're
Oh,
casting now.
nice, nice, nice.
Yeah,
Hopefully it goes well for you.
yeah. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a long trip for you as well. It's probably not as long as Thailand, is it?
It's probably about the same, I'd say overall. I mean, like a couple years. I mean, it's probably about 10 years ago now. We shot an action movie, and a piece of it we did like Armenia. That was very far. Then we did same movie. We did Armenia. Then we shot like London and Scotland in that same little bit. So we were on that side of the world for a while.
Oh, nice, nice. Now
Yeah,
what you
really
need to do
cool.
is film some in Bulgaria, film some in Ireland, so I can come on set.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. I'm
I've
down to
never
go
been,
to Ireland.
I've never been on a movie set before.
Oh, it's pretty fun.
Even though we have Ireland's biggest movie studio, literally like 5 minutes from my house.
Oh wow,
Yeah, in Ardmore Studios.
wow. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, they're doing a lot of shooting in Ireland.
yeah, well, like Wednesday season 2 was filmed there.
Right.
Rain of Fire was filmed there back in the day.
Man, that's a
Uh,
movie.
yeah, it's a fucking savage movie.
That's a movie, man.
Yeah, I was only talking about I done a podcast there the other night with a couple of lads, and it came up, and we were talking about Matthew McConaughey, and that was just it's not Matthew McConaughey of any way, shape, or form. He
Yeah,
is
that's a movie.
jacked.
I love that movie.
Yeah, Van Zandt is awesome.
Yep.
Right. I don't want to hold you too long into your evening, but I'll throw out a couple of questions. You said you're a huge horror or a huge movie fan. Are you a huge horror fan?
So it depends on like more supernatural stuff like I don't know, Insidious,
Okay.
Conjuring, that kind of stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, then that answers the first question. The first question was going to be what's your favorite subgenre of horror, but that answered
I think it's like more supernatural stuff like that
possession based.
versus like slasher flicks.
Yeah. So possession based films and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Okay. Well, then throw me out your top five. Say your top five horror films, um, even if they're not possession based. Just
I you know
here we go. I've broken
I
you.
will say I'm gonna go old school first. So I'll start with the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's
Right.
that's my favorite horror film.
I mean, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, I've seen a lot as a kid too. But then, but then I'm gonna also jump in. I mean, then I'll go like Conjuring and Cities. I like those movies a lot. But then I'm gonna go back because I fucking love Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the
Oh yes.
Dream Warriors.
Oh yes.
As a kid, I watched that so much because I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like I'm like, oh, you can now they get to fight Freddy. I don't know. I just thought
That's one of the best sequels of any horror film.
so good, so good.
I know people that have that above the original.
Oh, I
It wouldn't be for me.
no,
Yeah.
no. The original is still the original,
Yeah.
but I'd
Okay,
say
they're two good picks.
I'd say it's like that. I still like, like I said, Insidious was great, Conjuring is great. I mean, those are movies I can think of right off the bat. Ooh, what else?
James Wan involved in both of those.
Yeah. Those are fun. Sorry, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Patrick Wilson in both of them as well.
He's just man. Who would have thought Patrick Wilson just ended up being that
He's
leading
just
man?
he just reinvented himself, didn't he?
Yeah, super good. Okay, so we need one more horror movie. Oh,
Jaws.
I don't, is that? But see, if I was gonna say Jaws, then I would just go to Alien because I fucking love Alien. So if I'll go to Ridley Scott. Then I'll go to the Ridley Scott Alien.
Yeah, Alien. Fair enough.
Then
That's
I go
fine.
Alien.
So,
Because that's sci-fi horror.
well, for me, right. So this conversation,
Horizon,
Event Horizon, is so good, man. That's such an underrated film.
Event Horizon, maybe. But I mean, those are. So I guess honestly, as you see, I always lean towards sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Event Horizon is fucked up, man. It's so good.
That scene with Sam Neill when he turns around, his eyes are X'd out, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so good.
Like I know we only reached out last week, so you probably hadn't. If you haven't had the chance to see some of the back episodes, the conversation that we've had on this show multiple times comes up. Obviously, with Alien and Terminator, I consider both of them horror, right?
Sci-fi horror, yeah.
Where when you go to Aliens and T2, that's just sci-fi action.
Totally.
And also, Terminator 2 is probably the greatest sequel ever made to any movie.
Pretty much. I mean, see the same thing. So you could say fucking James Cameron, Terminator 2, Aliens. I mean, for me, it's like I'm still gonna say Aliens, but T2 is again, they're just perfect movies, man.
Yeah, I know. There's obviously you've got Lord of the Rings as well in the Two Towers. Two Towers is a fantastic sequel. But for me, I think Terminator 2 is just the greatest sequel probably ever made.
Perfect movie.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, jeez, Alien's so good. The pacing, everything.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, it set the precedent for everything else. Like I watch those movies a lot still, and I'm like, it holds up to this day as good as anything out right now.
Oh, absolutely. Like we were going through Disney, myself and herself there, just probably October time, just to see what to watch. She's like, I'd like to watch Alien. She's never seen it.
Yeah.
We still haven't got to watching it, but I'm getting closer to it. Like
good.
She watches horror with me, but wouldn't be overly huge on it. Which is ironic because
it's great. I like that.
It's nearly all I watch.
Yeah.
I say that now, and I watched like 340 movies last year, and 112 of them were horror movies.
Wow. Okay.
So it's that kind of split. Like it's a 30%.
Right. I got you.
But like for me, I watch generally most things. But if I'm sitting here on my own,
I watch a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I should literally go straight to horror.
Mm-hmm. That's like me with like action. Like I'll just throw on RoboCop, the director's cut, or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just put that stuff on.
I watched RoboCop last year for the first time in probably 15 years. I fucking forgot how good it is.
It's well, you don't have HBO Max there, maybe they do, but they have the director's cut of RoboCop, and it's fucking so good.
I have the director's cut.
So good.
Like the movie is just ridiculous, and there's parts of that you could go, oh, there's a horror element to that.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
The scene when he gets killed.
That as a kid, so again, I saw that in the movie theater, and as a kid, that was traumatic, man. I
He
mean, like,
blows his hand off.
you're just like watching this guy get blown away, and you're like, whoa, the amount of squibs. Again, these are the kind of practical effects, man. You know,
This,
there's nothing like it.
this is also something we say on this show. It's practical effects all day, every day.
Yep,
Like I get CGI has to be used in some cases now, but
yep.
for me,
Yeah, I'd always lean towards practical as much as I possibly can. And like, if I can't do it, it's because they didn't let me do it. You know, like something happened. You know.
I'm a peacock captain. You got to let me fly.
Yeah.
Christian, I don't want to hold you all day.
All good.
But as I said, the movie really enjoyable. Now,
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna give you a tough one, right?
Hit me.
Without being biased, if you were to watch this from someone else's eyes, out of 5, what would you give it?
3.
Okay, you got mine right on the head. That's where I was going to score it. 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
That's
I
fair.
think so.
That's
I think
fair.
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Camera work was great.
Yeah.
As you said, you had the issues with the blood and the water. I think there was parts of that.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of things that like would have made it a 4 if there was some restrictions not on it.
Yeah.
Like a little more gore, a little more bloody, a little tweaks on VFX. Some of the kills I could have should have been better because of, again, not out, those are out of my control. Like the fact we didn't get one more VFX shot. Like the chick who gets killed at the end, Itzara, she was supposed to get ripped in half, and one body part was supposed to go this. Like her waist was supposed to go this way, and the torso was supposed to go this way, but it didn't do it. So there's things, right? There's things that were supposed to happen.
That was definitely a nod to Deep Blue Sea if you done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously the end of the Deep Blue Sea where she gets eaten.
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, you got my pick right on the head with 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable shark movie. Pirate shark movie. Good thriller. Probably not so much into the horror stance, but I get it. I get it. Right. And when, as I said to you beforehand, it was a shark movie or a horror movie that involved the shark, I was always going to go and watch it.
Always. Right. Well, I'll get your back on this next one.
Yeah. Yeah. you can. I'll make sure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, kill all the kids in it. There's your tagline for this.
Right. Kill the kids.
Yeah. But best of luck with it. Obviously, Bulgaria is a long trip, so I'm sure the shoot won't be as easy as, or the travel won't be as easy as the shoot will be.
Yeah, well, we'll just get over with.
It has to be done. It's like a holiday. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on. And best of luck with everything in the future.
Thanks so much, man.
And I'll hit you up next year.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'll hit you beforehand, but yeah. As I said, Into the Deep, Lights Out. Check out everything Christian's doing because they're all bangers.
Thanks.
But what we'll do, folks, is I'll finish this the way I finish every single Friday night. In the words of the great George A. Romero, ladies and gentlemen, stay scared.